Welcome to part 13 of my video series on workshop techniques. This short video shows how I make slide valves and nuts for model steam engine valve chests. This specific slide valve is for a steam engine I'm currently restoring. The video shows the general method I use. Specific measurements are altered depending on the steam engine I'm refurbishing. I put together a general drawing showing the key dimensions of the slide valve using Fusion 360. This photo shows the slide valve. I'll be making the valve and nut from 360 brass bar stock. I cut a length of 1/2 inch square brass bar stock to a length of just over 3/4 of an inch in my metal cutting chop saw. Next, I clean up the ends of the bar stock on the mill and mill the bar stock to a length of 3/4 of an inch. I then set the slide valve in the milling vise and mill the width of the valve to a dimension of 0.476 inches with a carbide tipped tool. I found these tools easily cut through brass and leave a nice finish. This clip shows me milling the slide valve to a height of 0.466 inches. I centered the chuck on the face of the slide valve and with a 7/64 end mill cut a slot 0.050 inches deep down the center of the slide valve for a length of 0.63 inches. This slot forms the air passage on the slide valve. This photo shows the finished slot in the slide valve. I then turned the slide valve over, centered the chuck over the valve, and milled a 3/16 inch slot to a depth of 0.386 inches across the valve. This slot will be where the valve nut locates. Next, I repeated the process and cut a 3/16 inch slot to a depth of 0.366 inches down the center of the valve. This slot is where the valve rod will run, i.e. 90 degrees to the valve nut. This clip shows the last cuts on the slot, started in the last clip. The slide valve is now starting to take shape. The last operation on the valve was to mill 40/1000 of an inch off the perimeter of the valve to create a flange at the bottom of the slide valve. This clip shows me milling a side and the end of the slide valve to create the flange. I made the valve nut by milling a piece of brass to dimension. The nut is 3/16 inches thick by 0.361 inches tall by 0.433 inches wide. These clips show the nut being milled to size. The last step in making the valve nut was to center drill with a number 21 drill and tap the hole number 10, 32 threads per inch. This threaded hole is where the valve rod will connect to the slide valve nut. These clips show the drilling and tapping operation. This photo shows the finished slide valve and nut on the bench. This photo shows the slide valve and nut installed in the steam chest of the engine I'm currently working on. While making the slide valve, I decided to make a new valve rod and fork end. I'll cover this in another workshop techniques video. So, that's making a slide valve and nut for a steam engine valve chest complete. I hope you can use the techniques shown in your model engineering projects. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. Thank you.